What makes our talent division here at the Growth Foundation different from other recruiters?
The Growth Foundation's talent and recruitment service is really different to a standard recruiter. And the reason is that there's a symbiosis and this wonkiness between really experienced recruiters and headhunters, and then the likes of myself and you and the rest of the team on the consultancy and services side who actually have been there, seen it and done it, and actually we've hired and grown teams ourselves. So for example, let's imagine you're a 10 million turnover cosmetics company looking to scale your team to help you, to fuel your growth. We will have probably done the mapping exercise with you already, but we will be able to then say, well, actually, look, you're going to need a head of performance marketing here, you're going to need a creative director there, you're going to need an operations manager here. Because we've worked with those individuals, either we've hired them, managed them, all that stuff, that allows us to create the job specs and then hold the hands of that company all the way through the process. So from long listing to short listing, we do that. So effectively, the hiring manager at the company only gets the top 5 candidates because we've screened them all before they need to. Again, a standard recruiter would go, there's 100 CVs, you screen them. And then at that point, we would say, we've already written a task for the candidate to go through. So that we can then show through the interview process this individual's skill, their attitude, and their likelihood, I suppose, to succeed in the role. And then we can be all the way down and holding the hand, again, of the client all the way down to making an offer. One of the things that we're really proud of is that if you look at sort of market benchmarks in recruitment in our space, that sort of speed from sort of a job spec going live to making an offer is around 6 to 8 weeks. Ours is 4. And that's, again, the quality of knowing who we're after and being able to find the right people. And then also when you look at the sort of how many on average then are retained after their probation period, typically, we run at over 95% and the market average is around 76. So not only do we find the candidate faster, the quality is better and they're more productive quickly. What makes Growth Foundation Talent different to standard recruiters is typically we've been involved in the business for a few months already through an audit process or supporting them through our services. That gives us such an understanding of where the gaps lie and also the culture, some of the softer side, what type of individual in terms of attitude and skill is going to succeed here. So then when we come to write the job spec, which we do, and then screen the candidates from a list of 100 CVs that we've headhunted down to 5 finalists, we've got genuine and really authentic understanding of what the brand needs. And also when we write that job spec, something we do is we mandate that we will write the success criteria for the role in that job spec. So for a performance marketer, it might be, here's the cost of acquisition target you need to achieve, or the revenue you need to achieve if you're a commercial director, for example, or all those different things. And then we'll ask the candidate to present a task based on hitting that success criteria within the time we've given them. And everything then sort of, you can imagine, feels a bit easier because then the hiring manager knows at probation time, how do I measure you? Have you been successful, right? So that works brilliantly. So that immersion is really key. But I suppose what's interesting, that's not mandated either. So if we've got clients that come to us where we haven't been immersed, we've still got the pattern recognition from being involved in hundreds of these types of businesses to understand quickly what they need. I have an example of a business I've met today, million turnover streetwear brand, actually founded by a ex-professional footballer in Holland. And he's doing everything on his own, one-man trading business. And very quickly you realise, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to work out, you need some extra help to scale this business. But then I suppose which individual's next, and we've got that knowledge to be able to know where to help him and guide him. So yeah, that's another example, works both ways. Talent at the Growth Foundation is such an important service for our clients and one we're really proud to differentiate against other recruiters. And that is because talent are everything. They're the heart of your business, and actually people make companies and brands, right? The people who work in them. And the thing that we find often is that particularly for scale-up businesses where we spend a lot of time, you get sort of good people, but finding the right people is really key. And that's not only the skill, it's the attitude. And so as I was saying, we find the right people, again, so that's that attitude and skill. And the great thing is if you know what you need, so if you've already identified, I need a performance marketer, we will find them faster and we'll find higher quality people. Again, they have to get through us before that shortlist is presented. And then likewise, if you've got no idea who you need next, that's where we really come into play with our experience, because we can show you what your organisation needs to look like in 6 months, in 12 months, in 24 months, help you design that, help you find those individuals, onboard them and grow that team with you. The other thing that differentiates us from a normal recruiter is like retention of our clients. So typically, the average recruiter might, place one role and then in the next year get half a role on average, so 1.5 sort of hires per client. We've got an average now today working across hundreds of brands of 6.5 roles per client. So it just again shows you, that how well we find. It just shows you how quickly we find candidates and how good the quality of them is and how productive they are.